Is Anthony Richardson really going to be the answer for the Colts for the next 10 to 15 years? I really don't think so. He showed some great things within those first 3.5 weeks. He showed some really bad things within his first 3.5 weeks. And you have to look at it from both ways. It's easy to be a fan of a team and just say, hey, he showed all these great things. He's going to be great. He's going to be awesome. Let's ignore the bad things. No, you cannot ignore the bad things. You have to sit down. You have to sit back and, kind of get an opinion for yourself. And my opinion is we need to make sure we have a serious insurance policy for the future. Because Anthony Richardson, he never had an injury. He never had an injury issue at Florida. He comes to Indianapolis and he's hurt within the 3 out of the 4 games he played. He got injured in. Yeah, that's not okay. He's going to have to clean that up. He's going to have to stop looking for contact. And something in my brain, in my head that sticks with me. Chris Ballard said, he kind of compared him to Andrew Luck in his mindset and how he looks for contact and just tries to get the extra yard, and those instincts, they just kick in. So are you ever going to be able to teach that out of AR to not look for contact? Because that seems like that's just like something that he wants. He wants the contact. He wants the hit. He wants to be physical. And that's not good for his future. That's not, as we've seen this year, he was injured 3 out of the 4 games. He had the knee thing the 1 week. He hurt his knee. I don't remember what happened other weeks. I know, other than the shoulder tear, very, very unfortunate. But Anthony Richardson, man, he did show some great things. He did show some really bad things. And his numbers aren't horrible for a rookie quarterback. He had almost 600 passing yards, 7 total touchdowns, 4 rushing, 3 passing. His completion percentage was not really good. He had a 59.5 completion percentage. It really was not good at all. There were 2 games. One game he had like a 75, and he didn't even finish the game against the Titans. And then the other game was the I don't even remember, to be honest with you. But then there were some games in there where he had like a 44 completion percentage and like a 59, and it was not good. And he was wildly inconsistent. Look, he was electrical when he was on the field, and it was a noticeable difference when AR went out and you had Gardner Minshew step in. But teams didn't really have a chance to get film on him. Teams didn't really have a chance to learn how to stop that. And that's something that we're not taking into account. You have to, as a quarterback in the NFL, you have to evolve as the season goes along, and you have to evolve as a player every single year, every single game, every week, every Sunday. You have to continue to evolve your game. And that's one of the big positives of what they are. He has a lot to learn, and there's a lot that could change. And we did see a lot of improvement from Florida, his last week in Florida, to the combine in his footwork, coming to the NFL, and his pocket presence seemed okay. That was one of the best things I've seen from AR. His pocket presence was good, but then you go and talk about the other things, like his accuracy was not good. His mechanics are still iffy. And now he's injured the rest of the year, so he can't really work on it the rest of the year. But I did hear that he's going to be throwing again soon, so that's good. So he's going to have a whole another offseason to learn. And honestly, I know I'm kind of all over the place here. I really am really badly. But Anthony Richardson getting hurt, that's going to give him the best chance to be what he possibly could be. Because if he played all year long, just didn't play good, then you had to bench him or something happened, and then it would have been much worse, because you're going to destroy the kid's confidence, you're going to hurt him, and you're going to set him back. But one great thing that I will say is, considering we have Shane Steichen, he's going to be here next year, so it's going to be the same system. It's not like Bryce Young, where Bryce Young is going to have to learn a completely new system next year. That's one thing that Anthony Richardson has on him, is that he's going to be in the same system for 2 years in a row, at the very least. And that's strong. That's good. Because when you have a young quarterback in turmoil, and they're changing head coaches or changing offensive coordinators, just so much turnover is not good for a young team, especially a young quarterback. But so those are some of the good things, right? Like, he's got a lot going for him. He does, and he has before we get into some of the bad things, I just want to say, I respect the heck out of AR. He is an incredible human being. But that doesn't always translate to being a great quarterback. Even if they work very hard and they do this and they do that. And sometimes it's just not meant to be. And sometimes they just they're just not an NFL quarterback. It's just the truth at the end of the day. But he is a very hard worker. He has a great mindset. And sometimes that's half the battle. But going back to some of these games now, some of the downfalls, man, and is, he was so inconsistent. He was fortunate to not have a couple more interceptions. Having the one he was very fortunate to have. Now, he didn't put the ball in harm's way too much, but it wasn't great. His passes were deflected a little, quite a bit. His accuracy, not great, 69.5%, and he didn't even play the full season, so, it's kind of skewed by one 75% game, which he didn't even play the entire game, so that's kind of skewing the data a little bit. And then you have the basically almost the full game he played versus the Rams. What was it, like 44? Yeah, he played a full game. It was 44. It seems like the full games he played, the completion percentage actually tanked as the time went on in the games. That's just typically how it goes. But his mechanics are still going to be raw. He has barely seen the field. And that's worrisome. For a guy that only started 12, 13 games in college, barely getting... And, he never had injury issues coming out of college. All of a sudden, he's getting injured every game. He's looking for contact. And one thing I want to talk about and bring up really quick. Chris Ballard compared Andrew Luck to Anthony Richardson. You want to know how he did it? He did it with their mindset and how they're just trying to fight for some extra yards, and they're going to look for contact, and they're just going to try and get extra yards, and it doesn't matter what it takes. Andrew Luck and AR, they're both going to fight. Andrew Luck fought, and it didn't end up good for him. We saw what happened, and, it didn't help. His offensive line was horrible and such, but Anthony Richardson has been the same way. In 3.5 weeks, Anthony Richardson was the same way. He's not necessarily looking for contact, but he's not scared of it. Which, you don't want to be scared of it, but I think you guys get what I'm trying to get at here. A quarterback that doesn't live to fight another down. You want your quarterback to live to fight another down. You want your quarterback not to be taking all those big hits, man. That is the last thing that you want. And AR has been doing that. In the NFL, these players are going to finish the tackle. They're going to hit you harder. They're going to hit you hard. They're going to come at you fast. They're going to hit you hard. That's a little different than college. Everyone's stronger. Everyone's faster. And that's another thing that I have doubts about. It seemed like he held the ball very long at times. And that's another thing I have big doubts about. Holding the ball a long time translates to, bad offensive line play because they're going to get pressures, or, they're going to get more sacks, and then AR, he's not going to read the field well. He's going to miss open receivers, and he didn't read the field very well when he was playing. There are a lot of bad things in AR's game still. And considering he only had 12, 13 starts in Florida, he comes to the NFL. He plays 3.5 games, maybe less because of, how many injuries he suffered. 3 injuries in 4 weeks, looking for contact. 69.5 completion percentage. Did not read the field well. He had a PFF passing grade of, I wrote it down here, of 56.5. Yeah, that's not good. And his overall grade was like a point or two higher than that. Yeah, he is an explosive athlete, and he's an incredible athlete. Was he 6'4", almost 150? Ran a 4.43. That's great and all. But remember when everyone was ruling over Zach Wilson because he had an arm and he could, and he could run. He had this wow factor at BYU. He came to the NFL. What happened? He looked horrible. Never looked good. AR, at least he's explosive on the ground, but we haven't seen great play from him in the air. We've seen his arm. Very inconsistent. He missed quite a few throws. Overthrowing, underthrowing, whatever it is. He missed quite a few throws. Overthrew a couple big ones. Overthrew Pittman a couple times that I could recall. And we'll see. We'll see if Anthony Richardson can find a way to have a leap like Josh Allen. I don't see that happening, to be honest with you. And then Trey Lance is another one. Another athlete. this is going to sound harsh, but Anthony Richardson is an athlete, is an elite athlete trying to play quarterback. And unfortunately, they don't tend to pan out. Look at Trey Lance. Look at Zach Wilson. Look at all those guys, those crazy athletes that people tend to drool over and get so excited about just because Kyler Murray. They just don't pan out in the NFL. And Anthony Richardson, to be honest with you, I don't think he's the answer. I wouldn't be shocked if he's out of Indianapolis at the end of his rookie contract, or if he gets traded, or I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked one bit. I'm just letting you guys know that this is a very likely outcome, that AR is not the answer. And you have to step back and look at it and be like, you have to be honest with yourself. He has a great coach. He probably has the best situation in the league. The best situation they can possibly have. A good offensive line. An awesome head coach is going to put him and the players around him in the best possible positions to succeed. And if anyone can get it out of AR, it's Shane Steichen. He got it out of Jalen Hurts. Is he going to be able to get it out of AR? We'll see. But if Shane Steichen can't get anything out of him, then who can? And like I said, he's very explosive on the ground. Of course he is. He ran a 4.43. He's 6'4", almost 150. Who wants to tackle him? Who could catch him? Who wants to try? You know what I mean? But you look at some of the other guys, for an insurance policy. You have Drake May. I like Drake May. I think Drake May is a mid-first round grade for me. I like a lot of things that May does. His accuracy is decent. It's good. There's some really nice things to look at with Drake May there. I don't think he'll make it to 15. He'll probably be drafted in top 5, top 10, probably. And I don't think he'll make it to 15. There's a lot of very QB-needy teams up there. So I don't see Drake May dropping that far. But to be honest with you, you want to know who I would like to take at 15? I would take Spencer Rattler at 15. I love Rattler. The former NFL scout Daniel Kelly, he opened my eyes to him. I was seeing what he was saying. I went back, tried to watch a little bit more, thinking of the way that he talked about him, and I was like, wow, like Rattler. And even before all the stuff with him transferring and Rattler not playing well, I loved Rattler at Oklahoma. I remember the days I was watching Rattler and Howell. I wasn't a fan of Howell, but I loved Spencer Rattler. Loved him. And he transferred. He got sat for Caleb Williams, and then Williams came to USC. I'm not a fan of Williams. I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he's got a lot of things to work on, a lot of issues to work on. But honestly, I would not be mad if, and the Colts might be, they're not going to be drafting a quarterback in the top 3 rounds. But I think Rattler can be a quarterback if he is drafted in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. I think he's one of those guys that could be a Dak Prescott coming out of the mid-rounds. Spencer Rattler's a beast. I think he's going to be nice. Drake May, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, you have all those guys there at 15 could possibly take. Even Joe Milton. Well, Joe Milton is... He's very athletic as well. He has a lot of really nice traits about him. I think Joe Milton can be a really good quarterback, put in the right situation. His release is insane. He gets the ball out really fast. But, there's just something to think about there, guys. I will talk about, all this stuff more in later videos. Talk about quarterbacks more coming on the draft and all that. I know it's a little all over the place here, but I was just trying to get a point across, man. So I appreciate you guys for stopping by here. I had a good time talking about this, and I know you guys aren't going to agree with me. I know you aren't. I know there's going to be a lot of Colts fans that aren't going to like this, but to be quite honest with you, I'm giving you what I'm saying. I'm not going to create a false narrative. I'm not going to just say something to make you guys happy. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to speak to the truth, and I'm here to speak to what I see and what I truly believe. So, I kind of like that. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where your fans welcome. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. This is the JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.